here, the question we are asking is, skin is part and parcel of the whole body. If we are doing something good on the skin, surely that should translate to something good inside the body as well. And that's really where I believe this device answers that particular question. So let me go through some of that. So let me go through some of the science. This is the insight that is really important and what led us to this particular device. I'm showing you a schematic of a system, a circulatory system that is called a lymphatic system. That's the one that's shown here in green. It's very extensive. It sort of circulates to every part of our body. And if you look at it carefully, I put in here the rate on the rate. That is the blood circulation system. All right. And obviously, the biggest difference you notice between the lymphatic system and the blood circulation system is the fact that the blood can circulate no matter whether you're standing up, lying down, sitting down, or whatever, because it has a pump. And this pump, we call it the heart, right? We all know that if your heart, which is the pump, if it stops pumping, there's no blood circulation, and essentially, the whole body collapses. So that's essentially what they call a heart attack. By contrast, on the other side, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So it has no heart equivalent or nothing. It purely circulates through gravity. All right. It has to move it only moves in one direction, and that is towards the chest area, around this area here. Because there are two reservoirs here where all the fluid around the body, eventually they have to arrive in these two reservoirs, which then ultimately gets delivered into the kidneys and so on, and then they get excreted. So that's the two major systems. And it has been ignored quite a bit up to this point. But when you look at this circulatory system, it's 3 times larger than the blood circulation. So we're beginning to understand it plays a very important role. And what is the role? The role is, simply put, it's about purifying the body. This is about removing all the waste products that are being produced by all the different tissues in the body. And because when we metabolize or when we are active and so on, waste products are being produced. Very simply put, it's very similar to a car. We put gas into the car, but obviously the gas is not 100% converted to mechanical energy to drive the wheels. It's only about 90% efficient, if you will. And that's the reason the 10% is actually results in some waste product, the gas, the exhaust. And that's why you have 2 tailpipes at the back of your car to get rid of those waste products produced when you're driving your car. The body is very similar. So this lymphatic system, if you will, is sort of a garbage collection system. It takes all the waste and everything, and it removes it, debris that is being produced, importantly, toxins, they all get excreted. At the same time, it is also a transport system for getting certain micronutrients, such as the nutrients that we have in Lymphatic and so on. They are also being delivered through this particular transport system to all the different cells in the body. And then the third one is about fluid. So let me give you a visual. Many of you, I'm sure, have been on long flights, whether you're back to Hong Kong or vice versa, coming over the US and so on. And you notice that if you had taken your shoes off from your feet, and then just before you land, you try to put your shoes back on, it's a bit more difficult because your feet have swollen. And the reason for that swelling is because of the fluid accumulation, because the lymphatic system has stopped working efficiently while you're sitting down there for 6 hours. So very useful, this lymphatic system. If it's not performing optimally, you are unable to perform many of the important functions inside the body. And finally, it's also an important aspect of the immune system because it also tries to move the immune cells all over the body, especially to particular sites or areas of the body that requires the more immune cells to fight against, for example, infection. So it's a very, very important highway network in the body. So altogether, it comes down to, it helps to ensure that your body is pure and clean of toxin. Now, because it doesn't have a pump, it really relies on gravity and also on muscle contraction to move. If you remember, I said there's only one direction, the lymph. Unlike blood goes, to and fro, right? The veins will deliver the blood back to the lungs to get the oxygen and so on, and then it gets to the arteries, oxygenated blood to go to the tissues. The lymphatic system doesn't do that. It only moves fluid, like I said, towards the chest area. And that movement is very much related to the contraction of your muscle. Now, perhaps you see why when you're sitting down for 6 hours or so, your lymphatic system doesn't work because there's no muscle contraction. So everything slows down. The fluid in the lymph doesn't move through the vessels, so it doesn't have a chance to go back to the chest area and get excreted. So they pull or they stay down in your ankles, and that's why you get swollen. So typically, that's the only way you can move the lymph muscle. This is important because what I'm showing you is that, well, when you look at our lifestyle, right, what do? Most of the time now, we're going to sit here for an hour at least listening to me telling you about WellSpa. And there are other things you might be getting on, looking at our Facebook. There's a lot of sedentary or sitting down, lack of exercise activities that we do, okay? I already mentioned if you're on a flight, again, 6 hours sitting, doing nothing. And similarly in cars and trains and so on. Particularly even at home, you'll be sitting in front of a television, watching a particular show, and it's really lack of activity that once again contribute to a very inefficient lymphatic system. That means, in a way, when you don't contract the muscle, your lymphatic system doesn't work. So our modern lifestyle needs something to help the lymphatic system work better. So what is that one thing? We believe that we have developed this device that we call the WellSpa that is going to accomplish that. All right, that's the science. We have done all the science. We believe with this particular device, we can help to move the lymphatic system and also at the same time be able to deliver skin benefits as well.